Let's get started. Got a lot to talk about today. On the well.
You're listening to a very special edition here of The Well on the Day, where we talk about everything from racism to love. I'm your host, Marvin, here with Dana Dane,
hey now.
Mr. David Hunter Jr.,
Yes,
and our very special guest, Mr. Romel Witherspoon. How you feeling today, sir?
I'm a step above excellent, man. I'm glad
Come
to be
on.
here.
All right, now.
Welcome.
All right,
That's
came
a
on.
strong and
Guns
Right.
blazing.
You
Guns
got
blazing.
deep real soon.
Guns blazing.
I wasn't ready for that.
I wasn't ready, man. That's how they do in New York. Man.
That's
They
how
come
we
on the
do
plane
it,
going.
man.
That's
Jump
all
right
right.
in.
Well, welcome.
Absolutely.
We're happy to have you,
Man,
bro.
I'm glad to be here. I appreciate
Yes,
y'all's
sir.
hospitality.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I'm
sir.
so happy you're here. You know, I have questions to ask.
boy.
I
kind of
probably got
questions
some
you got,
answers.
David?
I have
man.
questions
Give
to
him
ask.
one.
Go ahead.
See, they making it seem like it's about to go crazy. I just, can we be cool?
I hope we can.
So my question, I seen the video, Motivation Part 1. I seen it.
Explain what kind of video is it?
Okay, in the video, for those, check it out. So he's working out, but he's preaching at the same time.
Uh-oh.
So I felt, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I should work out
Shunned up.
or if I should pull out my Bible. But it was really good. So, what made you do both? Like the word and the working out?
Well, you know what? That concept, they're both equally as challenging. One is physical, one is mental and spiritual, if you will. And so we're kind of living in a time where things are kind of shifted to fitness for whatever reason. I've been an athlete all my life, so the
Me
words go.
Why we laughing?
No, I don't know why he's laughing.
Everybody here fit with me. They gonna laugh when I say something.
Basketball.
Basketball, okay.
Basketball.
Track athlete right here, but it's all good.
Okay.
We
I just like
that
eating.
wasn't all the way on. I was like,
I look at myself more as a weightlifter.
that. You know what?
I lift the weight every
That's
time
still
I
a
stand.
sport.
That's ESPN too.
There you
but
go.
you know what I mean. But
Weightlifting?
Weightlifting.
ESPN.
That's that
Okay.
pay-per-view right there. You gotta
that's
pay
it.
to see
I
that.
weightlift too. I eat my weight just lift.
See?
So I'm into weightlifting as well. Pray my strength.
Pay your strength.
So there's a book out now called Single, Saved, and Still Wanting Sex.
I think I saw this. I saw.
Did you read it or did you just see it?
I saw it because I think the person that wrote it is doing like a tour.
Yes.
And coming to LA,
Yes.
and I saw that.
Okay.
We're talking about it right now.
Yeah, exactly.
If you
You
take
got-
the sex part off,
Yeah.
we don't even think about this.
Yeah,
book right
yeah.
True.
So I think it's a marketing tool, if you
Gotcha.
will.
Right, people that aren't even in church.
Because we haven't read it, so we don't even know
sure.
if she's defending it or what.
Since we're talking about sex, if I was to say, you know what, in my life I've had this many partners, I'm looked at, she's a gardening tool. Automatically every negative thing, not she went through this, she was raped. Things like that made her do these things. But when guys do it, it's like, oh, for real? Oh, okay. Well, I had this many. Or if they haven't had any partners, it's like, oh, you ain't had nobody? Man, what's wrong with you?
Some of it is subtly biblical, though. It says that the Bible says that a woman's worth is far above rubies. It's because God has put women on a pedestal of being far above rubies. And once a man finds her, he obtains favor from God.
Amen.
Like he could find anything else and just be blessed. But he
that
finds favor. The man is the head, but the woman is the neck. And the neck goes wherever the head tells it. The head goes wherever the neck tells it to go to.
So growing up in church, one thing that we were always taught that if you do fall with the partner, you get a soul tie. What do you think about that?
I think that's true.
Okay.
I think
proven to
that's
be
true.
true.
I think it's very true. But what it does is it opens your nose up to something that you're not prepared to deal with, the reprimands that comes along with it. And if you don't have the right support system and the right rebounding tools around you, you could do everything right, but if you don't rebound, you'll find yourself right back in the exact same situation, which goes back to what I said before. The best way to win certain fights is to never get in the ring in the first place.
Gotcha.
Especially depending how young someone gets into it and things of that nature. It can be extremely dangerous. And it can contaminate the very thing that God is trying to use you for. And that's when things get a little distorted, because we start wondering, man, God, what's taking so long? And God's like, if I take you there, you're going to take this weakness and it's going to destroy you.
We don't really hear it over the pulpit. We'll say, okay, don't have sex. Don't touch the fire, you're going to get burned. But why not? Like I think if they would have told me beforehand, like, look, this is really what you about to start dealing with. I think it would have made me like, okay, maybe I shouldn't touch that fire.
Gotcha.
But it's one thing to make an appointment with sin. It's another to walk in a struggle.
Gotcha.
And we love to associate the word struggle with on purpose.
Gotcha.
Like you made plans
knows
with
my
sin.
heart.
You know you're falling November 15th, like, and you know it.
set it up. You
that's
drove over
not.
it.
That's intentional.
Right,
See,
right.
that's when you know there's a problem that you have to be. It has to be rectified.
Gotcha.
I have a question about that.
Okay.
Because you say you travel outside of, your hometown, right? And so you're physically fit. You're nice. You know, I like to say you're a nice looking young man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know there's other young ladies. They don't know your situation.
Sure.
I know they approach you.
Yeah.
And you sound like a Christian young man. You know, you came with the word, you know, just right there. So how do you deal with that situation? How do you, do you push them away nicely? Do you push them away with a scripture? Or
Well, I have a go-to. And that is, I appreciate it, but I'm actively pursuing somebody right now. And that's the smoothest, safest answer.
say it again so Dave could catch it, so he'll
First of all, I'm in a relationship too now.
So you know how to, you need to know
but
how to say
I know,
it.
but yeah, I need some more.
So help him out.
But so here's the deal. Usually in New York or elsewhere, women are very aggressive.
Okay.
So even when you say something like, "I'm sorry, I'm actively pursuing somebody
almost
right
draws
now,"
them in more.
Somewhat.
It's
And,
like,
and
oh,
but then that's when you
gotta fight for
just
this.
have to be strategically honest, and you say, "Now, if I was your brother or if I was your boyfriend, and another girl approached me, and I'm trying to respectfully decline, not because I'm not interested in you, it's because my mind and my heart is on somebody else, and I can only have one."
Gotcha.
Because at the end of the day, temptation is never gonna stop.
Right.
Not in sex, not in relationships, not in money, you can't even categorize it. But here's what I understand, and this is something I read some while ago out of a book that T.D. Jakes wrote. You're not tempted with what you're full of. You're tempted with what you have not had enough of yet.
Why
Okay.
do we put God first when we're single, then compromise once when we find a prospective mate?
I don't think we compromise. I think, you know, when we're single, we're not distracted. But once you have somebody, you feeling them, you know, that's like you said, that temptation comes. So it's like, hey Jesus, but hey boo. You know what I'm saying? You wanna spend more time with the other person.
But do you have to compromise if it's right, if it's the right
You
type
don't
of
have to
relationship?
compromise, but you do find yourself. I know I can only speak for me. I know I find myself compromising because I really enjoy, you know, this individual.
Yeah, we were created for partners. God created
Yeah.
Eve for Adam for a
But
specific
but
purpose.
God comes first, am I correct?
He does
He
come
does.
first, but you see God in somebody, you enjoy that, you spend time together. It's a beautiful courtship. That's why, even with marriage, that's why he encourages to bring it together. But sometimes you just have to work that balance out. Also have to talk with the partner and having the right partner and putting prayer first in the relationship to give you the steps of how to handle that.
Yeah.
Just like what you're dealing with.
I think collaboration is big.
Okay.
I think it's one of those things where if I was training you and I charged you $30, I cannot go up to 80. Now I can start at 80 and come down, but once I give you 30, it's very difficult to charge you more than that now.
Gotcha.
So from the word go, I think you have to establish the foundation of what it's gonna be. So for me, I knew that God brought me to where I'm at before her. So that recipe can't be contaminated. If that's the case, you're actually taken away from me, and I know you're not the one for me by default.
So on the subject of compromise, in the church, the word sex is a little taboo.
Oh boy.
And we kind of don't deal with why you shouldn't, why you should wait, how long you should wait, and all that type of stuff. What do you guys think about that?
We've
I
all
think-
fallen.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's a catch-22 though, and here's what I mean by that. The best way to win a fight every time is to never step in the ring in the first place.
It is.
Right? So I think atmosphere is everything, but it is one thing to feel no conviction. It is another thing to say, God, help me. God, I don't want to do this. And then you go to somebody and say, I don't want to smoke anymore. I don't want to drink anymore. I don't want to have premarital sex anymore. I'm not trying to. I know it's breaking God's heart, but the stronghold is on me. Now the doctor can diagnose you. You can't go to the doctor and lie about what's wrong with you. How can they fix you? I think a lot of the thing is there's no trust for transparency.
Yeah.
And so now all of a sudden it does become a place of criticism because of people on the outside pointing fingers instead of getting in the trenches and answering questions that are not being asked.
So the thing about it was, when I was growing up, I was like, well, all these pastors done experience with drugs, or done been in the club and sex. I said, well, why can't I go and come back? Because they were like, well, some people don't make it back. But when you're younger, and I was in church, so somebody from the outside, they probably thinking the same thing. A girl I dated in college was said the same thing. She was like, well, I ain't really for all that commitment right now. So what do we say to those people? How do we get them to really like, no, you have to fall in line from the jump. Ain't no time to play.
Sure, I think some of it is, like we said, beating them to the basically being tactful and being strategic before the punches are thrown.
Gotcha.
It's similar to a scouting report, right? So athletes before their game, there's a scouting report on the board about their opponent's strengths and weaknesses. So when they get out there for competition, They are going to minimize their strengths and maximize their weaknesses. They're going to play on them to try and get the competitive edge. And I think that has to be happening invertedly even in the church. And then when you put that on the table and then you pitch that to her and she goes, you're right, I'm going to hold you accountable and I'm going to hold you accountable. And when you come, I'm staying in a hotel, or when you come, I'm staying on this couch. Or when it's not easy, but it has to be done.
That was my issue. See, I used to like red flags. I was like, oh, she
Right,
over
right
there waving
to it.
them. They match her. I was like, man, she was great because she was up there. I was like, man, we shouldn't do this. She was like, well, why not? It's good. I was like, you know what? It is good. You know, the Lord, but you know, that's a red flag. I was attracted to red, and I didn't know that. And so you had to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
And that was a growing point. And so you kind of put off some blessings for the fact, like, I can't give it to you now.
What do you think the moment was when your mind changed to that mentality you have now?
It actually evolved into it. So everything that I am now was never natural. Everything was a developmental stage. I had to evolve. So I fell in love with improvement because I got tired of being the guy that knows the guy. So here's what I did. I said, God, I am going to put you at your word, and I'm putting you on the spot with no secondary plan B. Will Smith said it best. There's no need for a plan B because it distracts from your plan A. So I left, and 2 weeks later, I landed a Rockaware commercial with Jay-Z playing a young Dame Dash that aired during the NCAA National Championship that basically paid me far more than 6 months could have paid me at Costco. But I took a leap of faith, so that opportunity really blew my mind in the ideology of if you really put your faith into action, you can move mountains.
Awesome.
But here's the inverted part. If you have faith the size of a mustard seed, that's great. But if you have doubt the size of a mustard seed, what do you think happens to the opposite? Nobody ever really talks about that.
Right.
So I'd rather just be confident and deal with the consequences.
So, Brother Royal, thank you for joining us today. Is there anything you'd like to pitch or anything people can find you on, any of your social media sites or anything?
Yeah, I just really appreciate you guys for taking me in, man.
Yes,
I felt like I was talking a lot, but we don't have to talk about that. But Romel Actor, Romell, everything is Romel Actor from Instagram to Twitter. Facebook is Romel Witherspoon.
Okay.
And I'm just so elated to be here, honestly.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, man,
Thank you.
it's a pleasure
Glad
having
to
you.
have you.
Likewise,
You
man.
brought the energy. That's why
Right.
we was letting you flow, man.
Right,
Yeah, I didn't want to say nothing.
Well, thank you.
Like, I was that.
Into us, brother. I'm like sitting here, I'm like, man, I need to grow. I need my Bible right now because I'm not as strong as I need to be. I need to work on the
Hey, the greatest athletes in the world still work out every day.
Thanks for coming.
It's my pleasure.
It was amazing.
It's my pleasure.
It was
Please come back
amazing.
again.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we want to have you back for sure, man.
Looking for more West State TV original content? Like and subscribe to make sure you never miss a video.